Hi, everyone, and welcome to this Kenshu Ask the Experts. Going to talk to a couple of our experts in just a moment, as you can see to my right. Um, during this time, the pandemic, marketers are really struggling to figure out what signals to use in order to guide their programs and navigate these uncharted waters. After all, year-over-year metrics, I mean, how good can they be at this point? Even month over month, even week over week sometimes. Social advertising has a really unique feed, and that is sentiment. The fact that it's the only ad channel that can detect at scale how consumers are reacting to their messaging. And that's just via the standard social functionality of likes and comments and sharing, et cetera. So, could social sentiment be a great way to guide marketers at this time when other signals might not be working as effectively? Today, we're going to talk about that. My name is Josh Dreller. I'm the Director of Content Marketing here at Kenshu. With me, we have Nate Olson from Black Rifle Coffee. Nate, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, hi. Great to be here, Josh. I've been at Black Rifle Coffee for a little over 3 years now. I'm the paid media team lead. And so, it's kind of my job to help direct all of the social and digital advertising for the company. And it's been an interesting couple months.
Also with us from Kenshu, one of my colleagues here, Adam Crouch.
Yeah, hey guys, this is Adam Crouch. I am a client success director here at Kenshu on the social side. Been with Kenshu for going on 5 years now. So I work directly with Nate and his team over at Black Rifle Coffee, and it's been a blast so far. So super excited to talk more about how they leverage social.
Yeah, certainly within Kenshu, Black Rifle is a wonderful brand. I have my Black Rifle CAF super caffeinated coffee. Nate did not pay me to say that. I just really like this coffee. And Adam, what are you drinking today?
I got my espresso, so it's my favorite. It's an espresso mocha.
And as you can see, there's a bit of a theme with Black Rifle creative, and we'll be talking about that in the social. So Nate, tell us more about Black Rifle Coffee and the brand.
Yeah, Black Rifle's been around for about 5 years. It was started by a Army Green Beret and CIA contractor, Evan Hafer. Him and a few friends had a big passion for coffee. And then when he decided to kind of get out of the military space, it seemed kind of natural to turn the hobby of roasting coffee into a full-time job. He started roasting 1 pound at a time in his garage, and then his friends started buying a lot of it. And now I think we have like 15 to 16 blends, 3 different locations across the country that produce and forecast all of our coffee and apparel. And we're about 220 employees in about 3 years.
About 3 years. I mean, that's amazing for a category as saturated as coffee to find a new way to spin it, new way to talk about it. Tell us about that Black Rifle brand. I mean, it goes back to your founder's background, correct?
Yeah, so Evan grew up in Idaho, and I'm sure he's going to be tired of me talking about him in such a good light. But he grew up in Idaho, spending a lot of time in the mountains, and really kind of having that connection to a great way to start your day of a great cup of coffee. When Evan was deployed overseas, he adapted the Humvees that they were using on their missions to grind and roast coffee. He met one of our coffee roast developers, Edwin, over there, and they were hand grinding their coffee, which is like a very specialty thing to do when you get like special roasted small batch coffees. You hand grind it to make sure it's perfect every single time and repeatable. And they saw each other across the way, and they're like, "This guy's grinding his own coffee. We must be friends." And they met overseas and then came back and then have been working on coffee blends ever since. But it's been the name Black Rifle kind of comes from, there are 2 things needed for a good day: Black Rifle and a cup of coffee.
Right on. And Nate, Adam, you've worked with Nate since they've come on to Kenshu, and what have you seen? I mean, I know you're a fan of the brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's hard not to be, right? From the creative they use, from the messaging they use, from the backstory of how it was founded. They really just crush it, and everything they do from creative and all in-house and how they got all of that made. I think it's just amazing. So from a social side, it's a dream. It's endless material, and Nate and his team do an amazing job getting it out there, and you can tell by their sales. So they aren't missing a beat on that front, and I think they're going to only get bigger as time goes on.
Well, certainly, I think coffee is an essential business. If you ask anyone who's a coffee fan, Adam, tell me though, what has been the impact of COVID and the pandemic on Black Rifle's business?
Sorry, was that for Nate?
Oh, I'm sorry, Nate. I'm sorry, Nate.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Obviously, like it's unfortunate that coffee shops and those kind of settings have been shut down due to this. But it's also kind of helping Black Rifle. The idea of sharing the best cup of coffee you can with the best people every morning is kind of one of our goals. So to have people at home making their own coffee, well, yeah, it's not ideally how we'd want them to do it. The fact that it is happening now is fantastic. And we've seen a lot of people take advantage of this, certainly through our club subscription option. So you're able to literally get the best coffee in America shipped to your door every month or on your schedule. And it's just a really easy way to make sure that, we don't run out of the things we need.
Adam talked about the fact that your marketing is so unique. I mean, what has been kind of your marching orders in terms of how to portray the brand and remain bold, as you said?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing currently is just still being us. Like, yeah, everything's weird, but if we can help provide some sanity in the world, we're not going to change. We're still going to, talk about things that we're doing to help kind of protect the coffee and the production systems that we have. But at the same time, like, we're still going to put out funny videos. We're still going to talk to people the same way. We're doing the things where we're not going to change, but at the same time, we are making sure that we're addressing things properly.
So where does social advertising fit within the Black Rifle coffee marketing mix?
Yeah, historically, Black Rifle's been very focused on social media. It's kind of how we got our start. It's kind of how we made the first big leaps into growing our business, was just making great content. Evan Hafer knew Matt Best, who I'm sure some people have known from YouTube. And so they were friends, and they just started making great content, talking about whatever they want to talk about, making fun of whatever's in the news. And yeah, I think it's been a huge part of our marketing mix currently. And we're really just trying to navigate and putting money where it makes sense to right now, getting out to new people, and, obviously watching the numbers to make sure we're getting good returns, just in case the ecosystem changes.
Yeah, Adam, I'll go and throw you a question in terms of, where does social advertising fit right now within COVID? I mean, how can brands use this as a way to stay in touch with customers who may not be either buying the products or who, are buying even more of their products than they were before the pandemic?
Yeah, for sure. I just think that, apologies, I just got this. Can you repeat that?
Oh, it's
cut out a little bit.
No worries. I was just saying, where does social advertising fit in the picture during the pandemic, for a way for brands stay in touch with their customers that are either buying more or buying less?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think for those, that are suffering during the time, obviously there's a fine line of, how to approach messaging, how to talk to our customers. If they're in-store brands where their normal, in-store traffic is really driving their sales, or if it's a D2C, brand like Black Rifle, I think now is a really good opportunity to position yourselves in the market. Let folks and customers know how they can still either get your product, what they're doing to help in the community, how they can still go about purchasing, how they'd like. But I think now more than ever, no matter what you're dealing with, good or bad, having that voice out there and positioning yourself in the way that you want your brand to look is key right now. So I think social is playing a big part in that. And I think it's been really fun to see brands, with their creative, how they're going about it. Like we're on Zoom right now, we see a lot of more user-generated content, which I think is awesome on social. So I think there's endless ways to use it. It's just about getting your message out that you want to portray during this time.
And And back to Nate, how do you approach spending in such a weird time? I mean, obviously, as you said, less people are going to work, so more people are making coffee at home, and more people are getting to try this great Black Rifle coffee. So, how do you look at spending when, a lot of companies are pulling back, a lot of companies are readjusting? I mean, what's been your strategy over the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think initially when a lot of the orders were coming down to people, we were very much like kind of staying the course, not getting too adventurous with it. And then we started to see some of the placements open up, like seeing CPMs drop, seeing impressions climb, just knowing and kind of chasing different metrics to understand how much digital real estate is available for these ads. And then really capitalizing on that, those placements, understanding that if there are more people at home, and honestly, like in certain areas when there were coffee shortages at grocery stores, kind of understanding that play and actually increasing our spend. So it's actually been one of the few times outside of the holiday season when we're able to kind of hit those budget levels.
I mean, right now, as I said, the intro, this is uncharted waters. I mean, everyone's kind of winging it a little bit. And of course, as marketers, we want to make data-driven decisions. So given the fact that a lot of the data that you might usually and normally use in a regular standard May to guide you in terms of how to spend, where to spend, channel allocation, et cetera. I mean, what data are you using to kind of guide your media?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, CPM's been a big one. Certainly understanding the return at bringing in net new customers has been kind of our biggest kind of value there. Understanding that, this is an amazing time to reach out and kind of say like, hey, we have this, we have the solution.
To kind of guide your media. Sorry, getting a lag.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, CPM's been a big one. Cool. Start bringing in net.
Sorry.
All good. I just want to make sure we're all set.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I think it's, like I said, it was kind of understanding the CPMs and everything like there. And then as far as allocating spend, it's been the first time when I kind of outside of the Q4 and be able to push at that level, really just capitalizing on what's available.
So, have you found anything that tells you to change your social messaging or data that tells you to stay the course or what have you done in terms of changing your social messaging and what have you learned?
Yeah, so we've definitely put out a few videos talking about, like I said, the safety in our production facilities, because obviously like people have to roast the coffee has to go other places, and it being a consumable, there's that level of concern there. But a lot of our messaging is really just focused on it comes straight to your house. Like you don't need to go anywhere to get the best coffee in America. And that's really what we've been kind of honing on. We are starting to open up a few stores, obviously complying with like local, state, and federal guidelines. But I think one of the biggest things for our social engagement team is to have the sentiment tags and the creative sentiment that is available in Kenshu, and to set up automated alerts and kind of understanding when something goes wrong, if somebody, if there's an overarching kind of feedback that is negative, we can kind of identify that as it's happening. Usually a lot of engagement monitoring platforms that we've used in the past have been kind of a little delayed. But here, I mean, we can set the automated rules hourly. And so we can basically have to-the-minute decisions and information relayed to the engagement team to better understand how people are communicating.
Yeah, and I guess having that all together in the management platform instead of a separate system that you have to bring in, I'm sure that works. So Adam, why don't you tell us more about the smart tag, the creative sentiment smart tag, what it is, how it works, and how marketers like Nate use it.
Yeah, totally. So as Nate mentioned, sentiment, especially during this time, is huge. Understanding what users are saying about your ads, commenting in your ads. So essentially what we built out with our AI technology is a tag that users like Nate and his team can use and see within the UI to essentially flag specific sentiment. So, a lot of teams have, community management team or social listening tools, whatever it may be for them. This would be a tool that you could use to then just have, more eyes on your ads to track sentiment. If ads are generating good positive sentiment, maybe you want to double up and add some more budget, or run similar creatives, or if it's the opposite and you notice that it's coming in a little bit more negative, you can adjust as well. You could either pause it or you can make changes to that ad. So the smart tag really is used for that purpose. It's to take that load off of users like Nate, who don't have to go in every single day to check how the sentiment looks. They'll be able to see directly in the UI on ads that have been flagged positive or negative, and then we kind of have our algorithm that works within these ads to track that. So there's different things that you can pull in metric wise into the UI as well. But overall, I think it's something a lot of our clients have been asking for. I think in today's market, it's a key feature, and I'm excited to see how we continue to build it out.
Yeah, and the fact that, like we said at the beginning here, that social is the only channel that has this direct feedback. Yes, you can do brand sentiment studies, third-party studies off to the side during and while you're running a campaign or afterwards. But in terms of getting that real-time feedback so you can make those changes, because, the game has changed, the rules have changed, the rules of engagement have changed a little bit on social, and obviously you don't want to step in the wrong place and catch those things quickly if you do. And so, Nate, just take me through a scenario here. Say you discovered, we'll take two scenarios. One where you ran some creative and you got some really great positive sentiment. What can a marketer kind of learn and do from there? Versus, say you ran a different ad and it got an extremely negative sentiment. Like, what action would you take?
Yeah. So I think starting on the good side of it, I would definitely use that post ID a few times, kind of making sure that we're at the top of funnel specifically, we're using the social proof and people talking about like their favorite roasts, or, sipping on my first cup of coffee, like as I type this. And I would basically use that to help bring more people into the brand, and I think that's probably one of the easiest ways to kind of utilize that. On a negative side, we've been in a few situations where that's been really, really important for us to act fast on. And basically it's kind of altering the targeting, altering the messaging within, a few hours of understanding that it is negative, letting both our customer experience and engagement teams know that ahead of time. So if there was a product issue, whether it was inventory or, we've never had a bad batch go out, but in the event that a bad batch was to go out, be able to jump on top of that and kind of reach out to those customers preemptively, understanding that this is something of an issue. So it's been really powerful on the good side for us. We haven't had too many negative sentiments, luckily. But just understanding that it does allow us to kind of get ahead of the curve on a lot of different things is really, really important.
Yeah, and back to Adam about the Kenshu Smart Tag. I mean, people, when you hear tag in marketing, it could be like a tag for website. No, this is a tag that appears in your campaigns grid and lets you know and identifies which ads are, driving which sentiment. And is there any automation? I mean, can anything be set? How can a marketer take action when they know within the platform, when they know something's extremely negative, for example?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the direction that we're going with this. So, setting up automated alerts to notify, Nate and his team when this is happening, but then also take an action. So, hey, we noticed that, this sentiment on this ad is above a 7. Let's go ahead and increase budget to this, ad. So as we continue to build this out, and what you can do is then leverage our automated action suite to kind of use these tags moving forward to then automate even more. So you can have a plan in place prior to, when these ads go live. And if you do see, performance spike or decline, you can take action as well and automate that for the team as well. So a lot of things to use with this. And I think as we continue to build it out as well, there'll be even more use cases there too.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys. We'll end on a question and just ask you guys what's the biggest thing you've learned about marketing, during this time, and then just thank you for everyone who joined. And these Ask the Experts are a really good opportunity to kind of jump in and talk to these folks that may normally just go, work behind the scenes and doing a great job, as we know Nate is, and I personally know Adam is. So I'll start with you, Nate. What's something that you've learned about marketing, either a small thing or a big thing that.
Lost you in the middle of the question there. Would you mind repeating?
Adam, did you hear me? Hello? Latrice, am I on? Okay, not sure if I'm still on. Oh, I am on. Okay.
Hey.
Sorry, technical
There we go.
Technical issues. All right, starting over. Last question for both of you guys. What has been something that you've learned about marketing that you didn't know before this pandemic? What's something that or maybe you did know, but it was just hammered home during this time? Good or bad? Nate, what have you learned?
I think outwardly, I've learned that people love coffee way more than I ever thought they did. I mean, I knew it was like a lot of people drank it, but I didn't think it was like the emphatic nature of like loving a brand. And I think, when people are really kind of relying on a pick me up in the middle of the day or in the morning or anything like that, just kind of like setting the mood, setting the vibes, as the kids are saying. I think Black Rifle's done a great job of helping that. We've done a few kind of giving back programs, buy a bag, give a bag, and currently going on is our Front Lines of Service Appreciation Week. So people are looking for a way to give back, and I think people are good, and they're looking to help in any way they can because nobody really knows what's going on. And I think we've found some really good people that love our coffee. I think that's what I've learned. And our internal team is great. Like I can't, like that's just been awesome.
Right on. Yeah, and a lot of people have stepped up. I know Kenshu, I'm really proud of our company, the way that everyone has stepped up in the last few months. It's been great to see. So Adam, I'm going to throw it to you. You talked to a lot of great advertisers like Nate. Mm-hmm. What's something that you've learned at this time that just will stay with you?
Yeah, I think just, still having that brand voice is key right now. Obviously we're all at home. We're all scrolling way more than we probably ever have and or should be. I know I catch myself when I put my son down. I'm just on my phone, literally as clear head as I can be. So I think just having that voice, making sure that your audience understands where you are, how they can still get a hold of you, what you guys are doing in this time, whether you're pushing sales or you're not. It's a time to really interact with your customers and your fans, and in a positive light with everything going on. So I think social has been just so great. I've converted on more ads during this time that I probably should be, but I think it goes to show that with good messaging, good creative, and good thoughts as well, fans are still really looking to social media to whether brighten their day or get some good laughs or to make purchases that they still need during this time. So I've really enjoyed seeing like Nate and his team and other clients that have really capitalized on it, but also learned from it. We have clients that have definitely taken tough roads here, and we're here to support them in any way we can. But it's been great, and every client that we work with has just been the best teams that we can ask for and clients. So we're just trying to do our part to help them get through this and succeed and do better when it's all over.
That's great. Yeah, for me, I'll ask myself that question and answer it. For me, it's made me rethink the state of, or what is data-driven marketing. Is it just one metric? If the click-through rate was down, so this ad's not working, or CPC is up, so we should bid it down, or whatever, or is it like something that's much deeper? And I know just seeing the different signals, like we're talking about in terms of historical performance, which is usually what marketers use. They know how many units we sold last year, what our average click-through rate should be for our ads, and if it's lower than that, it probably could use some optimizing. If it's higher than that, then maybe there's something going on that that we should look at and learn from, and just where do marketers get those signals? And for me, creative sentiment just seems like a really interesting spot for social marketers to help guide them. It's not the only thing, just like the leading U.S. Economic indicators is not one data point that economists use to determine the state of the health of the economy. They use a variety of metrics, from number of new housing permits to the stock market increases, number of jobless claims that that we're seeing now, especially. So for marketers, they have to think the same way and use a variety of signals and adapt quickly when things like this happen. And for social marketers, I can't imagine a better tool to use than creative sentiment, because you can really see if those ads that a month ago were just doing fine and that people liked, maybe it could be rubbing people the wrong way. And then the flip side, like Nate's found, that the brand is still working and being comfortable that you can still go forward with your core brand message and not have to change it, I think is just as important. Mm-hmm. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. And appreciate everyone joining us for this Ask the Experts Live, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.